Have you ever heard the word SOP? Well, the word SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. This is what companies use to make sure that everything is running smoothly within their organization. And in today's episode, I'm going to explain the importance of SOPs in your business. Welcome to the Learn podcast, where first you learn, then you drop the L, and then you earn. I'm your host, Dean the Wealth Coach. So I'm going to break down why SOPs are important. So SOPs help you with standard processes and procedures, and it also helps to ensure that customers receive the same type of quality. So to sum it up, it's consistency. So literally, if you have a sheet for everybody to follow, there should be no issues. Like imagine running a donut factory or a bakery shop. You have the same recipe that everybody follows. Literally, you follow to the recipe step by step, and then you'll have the same type of donuts every time that you do the recipe. Another thing is efficiency. So that helps you reduce errors, eliminate redundancy, and help you save time and resources. The more efficient you are, the more money that your business will make. So it's very, very key to have procedures or structure in place within your business. Me growing up, the businesses that I started, I didn't know about standard operating procedures till I got into my first corporate job. But when I started doing my own businesses, I started with DJing. I didn't learn about these things. But if I had known these things before, I could have implemented these to run my business much smoother. Scalability. So easily to train new employees and expand your operations without sacrificing quality. If you're looking to scale, but you're just bringing people in and you don't really have, say, a workflow of things, it's going to make it much harder for you to scale. And then potentially you could lose a lot of money because you're just trying to develop something, but you don't have anything in place to make sure that you stay on that same standard that you were before. The next thing is quality control. So that ensures that the products and service meet or exceed customers' expectation. Imagine, let's go back to the bakery example. Now, because you don't have a standard operating procedure for how you make the donuts, somebody comes in and just says, oh, I'm going to add a bit more sugar or less yeast, and now the donuts come out flat or they're too sweet. That's why you want to make sure, that's why it's key to have these standard operating. That's why it's key to have these. Like look at the big name brands like McDonald's or even Starbucks. They have stuff that everybody needs to follow to ensure that every time somebody buys something, they're always getting the same thing over and over again because that's what they're paying for. It makes training much easier. Imagine somebody coming to your office or whatever business you do and be like, here's the manual to do or to learn what it is that we do. Versus you having to say everything that you're doing, because now that takes away from you having to do your work and train somebody else on to get up to speed as to what it is that you're doing. Where you can just give them the manual and be like, hey, here, read the manual. Any questions you have, come and ask me. It just makes everything much smoother. Risk management. So that helps with handling potential problems or issues, and it can also minimize the impact on any negative events. You're a machine operator, but because you read the standard operating procedures, it gives you like a not frequent asked questions, but list of problems that are commonly what's the word I'm looking for? Common problems within the machine. So you can look that up to see what it is that you need to do and how to be able to rectify that or correct that problem. So risk management, it helps also with risk management. SOPs also help with accountability. It helps to ensure that everybody is meeting the same expectations. So if somebody's not performing well, it's like, hey, this is what the SOP said that you need to be doing and you're underperforming. So we need to get you back up to speed. And it also allows for continuous improvement. Imagine your business running like a circle, like just continuously goes in a loop, right? And say something is not like the loop kind of like gets like jagged or something, like it's not a smooth circle that it's making. Now, because you already have a framework of how everything is working, you can stop to look at that particular process and see how you can make it better or what you can do to eliminate the issues that you're having. So you can improve things within your business to help you grow and succeed. It's almost similar to Ray Dalio's principle loop, where it starts with a loop, you have an issue, then you come down to figure out what it is, find a solution, come back around, and then you surpass where you were before. So I like to imagine it like the principle loop. If you haven't read that book, Principles by Ray Dalio, amazing book. I suggest you get that copy.
Is your credit score trash? Are you tired of collection agencies calling you? Are you tired of being denied bank loans and credit cards? Well, then you're in luck. I have created an ebook that will help you repair, maintain, and leverage your credit. Don't even consider filing bankruptcy before reading this book. If you struggle with fixing your credit, then this book is for you. If you struggle with increasing your credit score, then this book is for you. If you are unsure on how to leverage your credit, then this book is definitely for you. Click the link in the bio and get the credit guide today.
Of that book. It's a lengthy book, but it's 2 books in one. I started off reading, the first book was about his life, and then the second part of the book is just the principles that he applied in his life to what he uses or what he did use when he was working at Bridgewater. So that pretty much wraps up today's episode of the Learn Podcast. If you do not have SOPs or structure in your business, now's the time to start documenting the process, because it just does so much for you. Like, imagine having a complex formula to create websites. I'm just using that as an example. Imagine having to explain that to a new hire every time. You run into the issue of not saying the same thing twice. Whereas if you have something that's already in place, you can be like, here you go, this is what you need to follow, and done. I know there's been many times where I'm saying like a story or telling someone a job to do, and it never came out the same way I told it the first time. So that's why it's so key to have these procedures, especially if you're building something. Like car manufacturers, they don't just go based off of what they think they know or what the people they hired know. They say, hey, this is the way we do this is how we build our products, and that's how we want you to follow it to make sure that everything comes out correctly on the assembly line. That was something that I want to drop down for you guys. Also, don't forget, this is not only for your businesses. You can also do this for your home too. Like if you just want some order in your house, or structure, like say on a team, these are all things that you can definitely implement SOPs for. Like say for training SOP. So you're going into the gym, you want to make sure that you're hitting these workouts, or you run a gym, whatever it may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be just for business. You can apply SOPs or structures into anything in your life. The more structure you have, the more control you have. And that wraps up today's episode. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode, which will make episode 20.